better believe I'm right. I'm going to be snookering you tonight.
Ooh, sounds
naughty. Snookering you tonight.
Yeah, hang on.
No matter what you want to happen, you are getting snookered by me.
Oh, no. I never realised it was so naughty. I'm going to be snookering you tonight. Let's get straight.
What does he mean by that? What does he mean?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for Now. Season 5. Season 5. That's right.
Amazing. Is it really season 5?
It's season
Feels longer.
5. Does feel a bit like Oppenheimer. Am I right? Flav went to see Oppenheimer. Not a fan.
Oh, it's you can film cinematography. What a waste of time. So boring. And I like film. I spend a lot of time watching film. I spend more time watching film than I do football.
Now I've been pushing Flav to do a review podcast because I think he'd be great at it. So just as a little pilot tester, give me a 30-second review, very much in a similar format to the narrative coming soon next Wednesday, that you would do for a review of Oppenheimer, ending with a out of 5 stars rating. Go.
You know when when you get in a lift, right, with no one else in there. Actually, no, you get in a lift and there's someone else in there you don't know.
Right.
The interaction you have with that person is about as entertaining as Oppenheimer is. And then the only relief is the ding and the door opening when the film ends because it's over.
How many stars out of 5?
2.
2. Wow. Going against the grain there somewhat. Our beloved
There'll
patrons.
be a lot of people going, oh my God.
Yeah, well, hang on. Let's go straight to the chat. I've sent you the link, by the way, so you can have a little look at this. If you want to become a patron, make sure you get involved. Links in the description. We do a mailbag each week. We talk about honestly everything apart from boring questions, which we've really clamped down on the last couple of weeks. But people are in the chat right now. Catherine, our beloved Catherine, who's had a tough night trying to deal with the Discord server because it's chaos now, but it's good chaos. Get yourself in there. If you haven't checked out that video I put out yesterday called You Deserve the Truth, go check that out for me. And also become a patron because there are people here who believe in Oppenheimer and are fighting your corner if you are a dry slug and not able to let Flav know, like Cameron Fraser, that I love Christopher Nolan films.
Yeah, he has like a harem of believers, doesn't he? That people absolutely love his film and whatever they believe, and it's fun. Look, most people disagree with me. I get it. I understand it. If you can like it, I don't care whether you like it or not. I just thought it was boring. I couldn't wait for it to end. I could not give a shit about anything towards the end of that film. Like, this could have been wrapped up an hour ago. Easy. Really? It looked beautiful, though. The cinematography was incredible. Direction was incredible. Editing was amazing. It looked beautiful. But you figured it out after 30 minutes.
Right. I feel, where's the, is it moving along? Is it, is there some cracking characters in there that we're enjoying them enough? Are we enjoying the plot enough?
Yeah, the acting was incredible. Like, Robert Downey Jr. was impeccable, and so was Cillian Murphy. Nothing to do with that. It's just been let down. It was let down. It was, I'm never going to think about that film ever again past this conversation.
Okay, well, that's great. If you disagree, let us know in the comments down below. Of course, if you are new to the channel and you haven't listened to the podcast before, this is James and Flav for Now. And basically, the running order every single week is derived from your comments. So you need to make sure you're really funny and then make sure you write down the funny stuff in the comments. What we're going to do in this one, what I want to kind of do is, everyone's predicting, aren't they, Flav? Everyone's predicting. Oh, I am so sick of predicting. And I've got...
do well, though. Videos do well, though.
Oh, big time, big time. And actually, I've still got... So I'm going on a 24-hour challenge. I'm going to be visiting every Premier League ground in the next 24 hours as Flav shakes his head. But I'm being paid for it, so I won't be shaking my head. But I'll be... throughout that, I'm just going to be...
I'm not sure how much money I would need to be paid to do what you're about to do. I hope it's a lot of money, James.
I just thought about... When it was sort of... The producer was kind of going, oh, come on, do it. And I was like, do you know what? It'd be nice to get out of the house and go to every Premier League ground. That's what I thought. But ask me in 24 hours' time. I'll be doing lots of Instagram stories. So, and I'm just going to be predicting on a van all the time.
I think what you will take from this is that England isn't as big as you think.
Hopefully, I really pray for that. And then and then once I've done that, finishing up in Burnley, of course, for the first game of the season against Manchester City.
All respect that's due to Burnley as a city. Right,
Have you been there? Have you been there?
No.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. All due respect. This is what I'm saying. I'm giving a precursor to what I'm about to say. All due respect. Yeah. Any respect that is due to Burnley. There you go. Have that.
Yeah.
Right. All of the respect you can have.
Have you got all the respect. Have you got all the respect you need before I say this?
Now think about all that respect that you've just been given.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. Hold on to it. And brace yourself. Burnley's got to be the last place you want to end up in after 24 hours in a van.
Yeah. Are we cutting it out? We're cutting it out. Okay.
Yeah. So Burnley.
I can't wait for the cut because people are going to go, oh, what did he say? Well, should have become a patron. Someone said there, I predict that James will hate football by Monday. Well, I mean,
don't you never hate football?
If you do, no, I bloody love football. And what is going to be worth a laugh will be I am then getting a taxi from Burnley back down south because I'm on Saturday Social again predicting on Saturday. I just love predicting.
A busy bee.
I'm a busy bee. So what I thought we could do is I put a couple of tweets out, and because look, we're all predicting all the time, aren't we? That's the game, innit? The game is, I told you Wolves' manager was going to get the sack, despite everyone clearly knowing this was going to occur. Mate, and then when it happens, you tweet it out and you go, see? And I'm guilty for it.
Have you ever seen a team that's more screwed than Wolves at the start of the season right now?
Sheffield United.
Like they are. I know Sheffield United. I mean, but they've just come up. Like,
right?
They deserve to go back down just because they've just come up.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Just get out of my league, basically. The Sheffield United are absolutely foobarred, but Wolves had it in their palm. Like Lopetegui is one of the very good coaches. Probably the best coach they could have ever appointed. And I don't know I know FFP is a massive issue at Molineux.
Yeah.
But they would have stayed up. They should have done enough to placate him.
I had him going down.
What, even with Lopetegui?
Yeah, because I thought he'd go. To be honest, for my prediction for that, and sorry, just to finish the thing, we're going to basically, I've got put out a tweet saying what happens every Premier League season. I'm going to go through that list. We've got some really good ones in that, and there's some predictions to be made there. So stick around. What we're talking about? Yeah, my prediction for Wolves to go down was under the idea that he'd stick around for a month and get more and more angry, and then you'd have a new manager who comes in post-transfer window, and these aren't my players, and then he gets sacked in January because they want to get someone in who can, spend the money, and then they realise they can't spend any money, but they spend it anyway, and they get a couple of loans. And then
in a way, it's kind of better to get rid of him now and just trying to have a full season with a manager that clearly wants to be there in Gary O'Neill. Is that what you're saying? Because
I think
the fact that they brought in
it's for the best. Weirdly, do you know what I mean?
I do understand what you mean, because you're just staving off the inevitable. It's like the Kane situation at Tottenham. It's like eventually he needs to go. So why don't you rip the plaster off? That is an argument. But in this instance, it's like they had Gary O'Neill lined up.
Yeah.
And while he did a fantastic job with Bournemouth, and you may argue that Wolves' squad is better than Bournemouth was last season, maybe, it just feels like they're just throwing the towel in. That's my feeling. If you're a Wolves fan, you're not happy right now.
I bet if you scour the internet, there'll be people that will have tweeted about Gary O'Neill. My son's on. You're going to hear my son. There'll be people that have were sort of up in arms with O'Neill not retaining the job at Bournemouth.
They've got a better manager, Bournemouth. Bournemouth are in a much better position now than they were at the end of last season.
But weirdly, Gary O'Neill did such a good job, right? And I think you could have stuck with him at Bournemouth. And I think that would have been absolutely fine. I think I think people would have been slightly nervy, but they would have gone, look, he's done it once. weirdly, he kind of comes into this gig, and I don't totally rate it. I'm a bit unsure about it. Is Tom Jordan here? Tom Jordan's in the chat. Tom Jordan has a Bournemouth channel. Tom, I saw Tom tweet going, "Oh, best of luck, Gary." Right. You won't. Here's a prediction. When you play Wolves, I'd like to see that. Well, I don't know when you play Wolves, but when you play Wolves, at some point, if Wolves are above you, you will not be hoping for the best for Gary O'Neill, Tom.
No, nor should he.
Let me say that straight away. What I did think, I looked at this article, and this just whiffs of, yeah, when we're in trouble. Gary's highly motivated. He's a highly motivated young coach with strong principles.
Not what you want to hear.
It's not enough, is it? It's not enough. Not
enough to keep you in the Premier League.
That's not it.
He's not going to get the Wolves fans frothing at the bit.
Yeah. So, did
that bloke just say? Did that bloke just say a young coach with strong principles?
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're absolutely fine.
We're fine.
I don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear that, do you? Whereas Lopetegui's like, he's been there, done it. Like, it's kind of a big
managed
deal.
Spain. He's managed Spain and Real Madrid.
Yeah, didn't want Lopetegui anyway. I want someone young. I want someone with strong principles. I bet there's a lot of coaches out there that are highly motivated, young, and could say that they have strong principles.
Yeah.
Look, and then
how strong will he? If a Saudi Arabian team came in for him, how strong would his principles be there, Gary O'Neill?
Well, I guess we'll never know. Who knows? That's a great one. Let's predict who will be the next Saudi Arabian managers taken plucked from the Premier League.
Marco Silva.
Do you think he'll turn back on it?
100%. Like, that man is so if Gary O'Neill has strong principles, Marco Silva has none. Has zero principles.
He's got snaky hair, hasn't he, Marco Silva? Do you know what I mean? The dark hair doesn't help.
He's a snake embodied. He's and it's not like we're just throwing shade on him. He's proven it over and over again. We would never have said it if he hadn't done what he done.
Yeah.
Good manager though. Good manager.
Bloody good manager. And yeah, that was I had a unpopular predictions video, which is another predictions video, which is coming out today, or yesterday, as this is going out tomorrow. But someone said, "Oh, he won't make it to October." Silva. See that, because that's one thing I was thinking as well. Really? Because what I have noticed in terms of these predictions is you understandably, right? You have to go with logic, right? So for example, last week I had to endure everyone going on about how QPR are definitely going down, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like 1 + 1 = 2, Flav. But and so this week everyone's saying the exact same about Sheffield United. About there's just absolutely no way they'll stay up. Now, that might be right, but every single year, madness happens. Every single year, madness happens. So can we find the madness today? That's what. What is the madness? Right. Where is the madness? Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely not a Bramall Lane. There's no miracle can save them. You can't be 3 players shitter than the one that got you up and stay up.
Fair.
Like they've got the forward, they've lost to Marseille, right? I can't remember his name. And the 2 lone players, and I'm just repeating what I've heard, right, from a Sheffield United fan. This isn't me knowing any fucking thing about this. But they've lost 2 lone players from City, and they're forward. And you told me, was that forward good enough to play in the Premier League?
Yeah. He's the star. Like,
what's his name?
Ndiaye. He's gone to Marseille. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back for like a lot of money, I believe.
Really? Okay.
I think he's really good.
And they haven't spent anything, and it's not like they haven't got. The windfall is significant coming to the Premier League, and you have to do something, even if it's maybe not as mental as what Forest did, but you've got to do something. It just stinks of Norwich.
Do you think if you were a Sheffield United fan, if the club came out and go, look, we're really struggling with money, and we just want to get as much out of this promotion as possible, just so that we're completely safe and we come back in a healthier state, so we're not spending any money. I can understand you'd be a bit disappointed this season, but we're going to give it a bloody good go. But we just need to make sure we like get as much money as possible. Would people be like, okay?
Yeah. I don't. Yes, I think they would. I think fans would be understanding if there was a clear and open plan saying, look, this season and I think Norwich fans to a certain extent have been very understanding of how their team has behaved in the Premier League. But if they're saying, look, we need this windfall in order for us to restructure and build for the future, but trust me, our aim is to be a regular to become a regular feature in the Premier League. But this season we have to take a hit. I think fans probably would understand that.
I think fans would be absolutely fine with that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think they'd be totally fine with that. Has but Luton have signed Ross Barkley. That could be. It could be amazing. You've done your
predictions.
Yeah,
but I haven't had anyone to speak to about this.
Go on, yeah. Do you want to give me your predictions?
Sorry,
I thought that's where you're going. You're panicking now.
No. I know. I couldn't give a shit. I mean, but I do think Luton will stay up.
I'm drifting closer to it. Second bottom.
Second bottom. I think they'll scrape out of it for two reasons. One, Kenilworth Road.
I knew you could do that. Their away form was better than their home form last year.
Really, I didn't know that.
But that just means that gives them even more of a chance, doesn't it? Because I think you're right. I think it will. Kenilworth Road will be it won't be bouncing. It'll be shuddering. Because it's not a great stadium, but it'll be bloody good fun.
It's the best stadium in the league, hands down. There's no room.
Right, here's a prediction.
No room.
Flav will not. Yeah. Flav will when Tottenham play Luton or lose to Luton this season at Kenilworth Road, you will hammer the stadium. Predicting it now. Someone click that up. Save that for you.
Not. That isn't. That,
Put it in the folder.
That's not what I'm surprised you cast that aspersion on me because that's not what I'm about at all. I would never do that. Look, I think they'll stay up, and I think Sheffield United and Wolves are down already, and there's just space for one more. And by the grace of God, let it be West Ham.
I mean, that would be funny, wouldn't it? If that's sort of for you specifically.
Where's this rumor? The West Ham rumor, Paqueta going to £70 million.
To Man City.
Man City. That would be a hellish move for West Ham fans. They desperately need him.
They need to spend some money. Pretty sharpish if they sell both their best players. Or, pretty much their best players. I don't get it really. Unless Paqueta's kind of like making a big. Maybe he's like kicking up a fuss now. Maybe that's.
I'm sure it would be desperate to go if he has the opportunity.
Could I just say very quickly that just on the sentence after Gary's a highly motivated young coach with strong principles, which I'd like to see that all over Twitter every time they win a game. Congratulations to the highly motivated young coach with strong principles, Gary O'Neill. He then said, Matt Hobbs, the sporting director, then said, again, feels like a red flag. It's an opportunity to do something different with an up-and-coming British coach. And from the people we met, so not from everyone, but from the people we met, Gary was clearly the right person.
They didn't meet anybody. They went straight in with him. He was signed so quickly. What Lopetegui was sacked and Gary O'Neill was in. They were talking about it even before Lopetegui got sacked.
I hope he does well. I really like Gary O'Neill.
Who else would they have spoken to?
I mean, I imagine there'd be a lot of people going for the job.
Imagine your
Luke L, Wolves fan, patron, slug, moisty boy, says, bookmark this. Yeah. Wolves will finish 10 points clear of relegation. That's Luke L, says 10 points clear of relegation. They could. I don't think they will.
We need a wager on this.
Do you know what is good about Gary O'Neill? And it's a bit of an Ainsworth thing in terms of when he came in. Just nice bloke, isn't he? Just want the best for him. Want the best for Gary O'Neill. Me and my wife were talking about that last night because the weatherman came on. Channel 4 weatherman. And we're like, do you know what? I was like, I wonder when the camera's off. Is he a perv or is he just a nice bloke? I reckon he's sweet as anything. And Fam said, yeah, I think he's bloody lovely as well. I hope he's really happy. And I was like, there are people sometimes in life that you just want them to be happy. And I want Gary O'Neill to be happy. He sacrificed himself to allow Queen's Park Rangers to get back into the Premier League. So I want the best for him. He basically, we had a Derby with through on goal and he just took the player out. There's an amazing video on YouTube actually.
So what was his sacrifice? The fact that he didn't play the remaining minutes of the game?
Yeah, he got sent off to stop the goal, and then we won in the last minute. But he was waiting in the tunnel, and there's a tunnel cam of him, and you could see he's just like in bits. And
yeah, but I'm just trying to hunker down to what you said in terms of what sacrifice did he actually make? He didn't play the last 4. The last 4 minutes of the game? Not much of a sacrifice, is it?
I think it's a clever sacrifice. It's a great strategy.
If he broke his own leg, he didn't play for a year. That would be.
But at the time, he was a highly motivated old player with strong principles, and he gave up those principles to get the red card. So 3 cheers for Gary O'Neill.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know, a couple of red flags there for Wolves. But I think what sort of equalises it is the fact that Gary O'Neill's just look at his face. Just look at his face. Just seems like a nice bloody bloke. Good luck to him. I wonder if his second job syndrome where he becomes a bit bitter. Could that occur this year? What do you think?
No, I think you'll be all right. But I just think, if you're Pedro Neto and you're in the changing room and you've been listening to Lopetegui and he's done, managed some of the best players in the world, and then Gary O'Neill walks in, you're like, oh,
yeah,
I'm not playing for that.
That's a tough walk in, isn't it? Sometimes in life you've got to walk into rooms you don't want to walk into.
Oh, everybody! I'm Gary O'Neill.
Hi guys, it's me. I don't know how he talks. Hi guys, it's me, Gary O'Neill. Guys, if you just sit down, guys, I know you're getting changed, but if you could just sit, guys,
can you take your earphones out? Take your earphones out.
We've got your head, guys. I'm the new guys. And then he stands on a chair. Guys, sit down. I just want to introduce myself.
Hwang Hee-chan is just butt naked all the time. Just won't put any clothes on. Not in front of not for Gary O'Neill, at least. He'd sometimes put boxers on for Lopetegui, but for Gary O'Neill, completely naked.
Just staring at him, little power move. Yeah. Really, just showing his incredible abs. Speaking of power moves,
surprisingly big dong. Surprisingly big. I don't know why it's surprised. I didn't mean anything like that.
There's a joke there, but we'll leave it. What was I going to say? Speaking of power moves, naked power moves, I was thinking we could move that on a bit this year. So we did bath time last night with my boy, and he's found his penis, which is great.
Right,
this is great news, and he's sort of he's having a little pull at it, and it's what babies do. That's what babies do. They find it because they're like, "What's that finger? What's that finger or what?" Anyway, he for about 6 seconds he did a little power move on me, and he was pulling his penis and just staring at me, and it made me think that's a really good strong power move, but steady son, you got the rest of your life to play with that, and it made me think. I wonder if there's any sort of child power moves that kids have done on you, be it, it could be a cousin, could be your kids, could be whatever. It's like just utilize it, because I think people did that at school. Like there was a moment when you realised, oh, they're not going to hurt me. Really, there's nothing they can do. And then at school, people would then just use that to make adults' lives an absolute living hell. So I think. Do you ever think of one? Let us know in the comments, please.
James, do you ever think about your penis and your balls? Do you ever think about it, right? Because
how
old are you?
37.
Your cock and balls have been hanging there for 37 years.
Yeah.
Ages.
It is mad, isn't it?
That's mad, isn't it, when you think about it? Just been hanging there. Mine have been hanging there for 41 years. They've been hanging there. That's a long time for anything to be in one place.
Yeah. But I mean, so's your arm. So's every part of your body. I know what you mean, though.
No, but it's the only bit on your body that hangs.
Yeah.
It's been hanging there.
Yeah.
41 years.
Here's something. I know there's one, you think about your penis and your balls and stuff, or whatever genitalia may be. Do you ever forget about your penis and your balls?
I know. So weirdly, I've never been asked that, but I know exactly what you mean. Sometimes I don't think about it. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I had.
Oh yeah, I've got.
What are they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think maybe that's like a I don't know. Oh yeah, I think because as you get a little bit older, you sort of you're not as you're maybe not as horny. So you just sort of, or you're busier, right? So you just sort of forget.
You got too much. Exactly. The busier you get, the less you think. The less you think about your a lot on. The less you think about your genitalia, the more busy you are.
Yeah.
The older you get, you've got stuff. Life comes at you fast. You've got time to think about your cock and balls all day.
Yeah, exactly. I think in your 20s, your penis is right up there in every way. It's a priority in your life. But as time progresses, I haven't got time to think about my penis as much.
I was during my 20s. I was erect more than I was flaccid.
Yeah,
spent most of it erect.
Whereas now, when I'm erect, I'm like, oh yeah.
Whoa! Oh
yeah! I forgot about you.
Yeah,
it's a bit like So my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they had a dog, lovely dog. We used to Riley, great dog. We used to give him all the attention all the time. But then they had 2 children, and now we just forget Riley's there all the time, and that's your penis. That's life. That's life. You just forget you forget your genitalia. I think maybe it's a bit like say carving out time for exercise and meditation. I think maybe it's important to carve out some time for a bit of one-on-one time with your penis.
You're
not in a sexual way. Just in whatever you need, really.
Like if you got to the stage in your fitness regime, you think like masturbating is working out, because like you count it as your steps.
Steps. Is that what you did? Right. What are you doing? You're getting the steps in as well.
12,000 steps.
Oh, right. What does it count? Because if you make sure you use it on the right hand, get the Fitbit on the right hand.
In terms of forgetting, I feel Spurs have been forgotten a little bit this season.
No, that's a great link. So yeah, in terms of madness, right? The madness. I think there's more madness available to Tottenham than any other club. Right?
I want to know what you think about us.
Do you know what? Flav? I've been thinking about this. I'm probably going to upset some people. I'm excited about the Sweet Sweet Hotspur this year.
Oh, yes!
I'm excited about the Sweet Sweet Hotspur.
Yes!
And maybe I can't move it straight across from Sweet Sweet Gunners to Sweet Sweet Hotspur, and I think that might upset you as well. But
yeah, I don't want that, to be honest.
Every season there is a team that I root for a few teams, really. I quite like what they're about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And Tottenham are really high on the list this year. It's Postecoglou. How can you not want that guy? I just want when you see Nicky from West Ham Fan TV and you're just like, just fucking hold me. Yeah, that's what I want with Postecoglou. I just want to be in his embrace. He's just awesome, isn't he? He's just awesome.
He is awesome, and like I said, this is just from where we've come from in terms of the managers you've had. It's like he's like the kind stepdad after the previous guy who used to beat up mum. He's come with sweets and presents and gives mum cuddles on the sofa. That's the difference in the energy. It really is.
Yeah,
and it's like
I bet he's got a great wink.
Yeah, it's just,
do you know what I mean?
I said this. Yes, yeah.
Like,
I said this on the overlap.
Go on. Tell me what you said on the overlap.
Well, I just said on the overlap in terms of like what I said. It's gone completely weird.
What really happened? We'll never know.
What he said, right? This quote is, "I want Tottenham to play a brand of football that scares the life out of every opposition."
Come on.
Like at this stage, it's like that is just music to my ears.
Sweet release, isn't it? Release.
Yeah. The thing is, though, James, is that it's not going to go easy. It's going to be a difficult season, and it's going to be tricky for Spurs to stop goals from going in the net. Right? Defensively, we're going to struggle somewhat, but you've got to be excited about the future.
Oh, mate.
You've got to remember.
It shows how it matters. It's what you do and how you do it are just as important.
Massive.
They're just as important. I just want to get the fixtures up. What are your starting fixtures? So with this 24-hour challenge, I've kind of really put aside the time to really have a look at the fixtures and my FPL team and all that
You
stuff.
can have a lot of time.
Yes, exactly. So your first few games. So hang on, Saturday, Bournemouth. You got Burnley first game.
No. We got Brentford first. You go up. You've missed it. Go up one. Go up. There you go. 30th of August.
Oh, sorry,
Brentford.
sorry. So Brentford, Man United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United. Right. Okay.
We'll beat United at home.
Okay. You could easily
beat United at home.
You could see, this is what I mean. This is the madness. Somehow you could be in horrible shape or great shape going into 24th of September. Oof. And then Liverpool the week after.
Just look at this. Look at this for me, right? Brentford.
Yeah.
Beat them. United at home, beat them. No problem. Bournemouth away, beat them. Easy. Go to Burnley away, beat them. Sheffield United at home, beat them. Arsenal away, probably, maybe draw, but probably beat them. Liverpool at home, beat them. We'll be top.
Yeah.
Luton away, beat them. Fulham at home, beat them. And Palace, beat them.
Simple as that.
10 on the bounce.
To go back just for a second with the winking thing, because I think it's something in here, right? Because so imagine, right, you're just in a room, or maybe you're in the change room, everyone's there, everyone's sort of getting ready for the game. Postecoglou's just sitting there chilling, his lovely little belly, and then he sort of catches your eye, and you're a bit nervous about the game, and he just goes, you're just gonna be like, it's gonna be fine, isn't it? It's gonna be absolutely fine, and it's not weird. Now, which managers, if they winked at you, are you like, no, you're creeping me out a bit, back off?
Arteta.
I thought Arteta. And now I don't think he's a creepy guy, but if he were to wink at me, I don't think I'd like it.
Did you? I agree with you. I wouldn't like him winking at me.
I think Klopp can wink. I think Ten Hag can wink. I think
Liverpool fans are not
Vincent Kompany can maybe wink.
Are Liverpool in trouble? What is trouble for Liverpool?
Well, I put them second, didn't I? So I'm back. I'm backing the boys.
Can you explain that to me?
I just think so. Here's my explanation. I think they will definitely get a midfielder in. There's no way they won't get a midfielder in. I think we
if
often
if that midfielder is Levia or what his name is of Southampton, will that will get them to second?
Maybe not. But the other thing, the reason I put them second initially, I was like, they will get in an amazing DM. And in terms of the striking positions and scoring goals,
yeah, their forward line is insane.
Yeah, when I was comparing them with Arsenal, that Gabriel Jesus or whoever plays through the middle, I like Liverpool's front line better.
Liverpool will probably have the best front line in the league, I'd imagine, like on paper. Do you think Nunez, Diaz, Salah, McAllister,
Jota, Gakpo, Szoboszlai, who's been a bit average.
It's almost got too many, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't say that because you got Champions League as well, and I think it'll be able to sort it out. But yeah, I just think I've done it now. But like I say, things that I could see Liverpool scoring so many goals, and that will start to change the outlook. And I do think they'll sign a couple of players. I do.
Yeah, they desperately need to. I wonder if Van Dijk is fading fast.
This year we'll find out. Here's another thing I was thinking about. This year we find out some people become injury prone forever. So Van Dijk is one of those. Chilwell is one of those for me. If he has another injury, like season where he's injured, you're like, okay, you can't stay fit kind of thing. And I think people are missing the problem of Varane. And that was it, Cameron. Europa League over Champions League as well. I think that will make life a little bit easier for Liverpool. But Varane can't stay fit for a whole season and play 60 games. There's no way. So they still need a centre back, right?
Well, it's not even 60 games, is it? With the amount of injury time, you got to add another 10 games a season on.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, which he's been moaning about, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, well, he should be. Like, it's fucking crazy, I think. The 10 minutes, you know, within 10 games, that's like 11 games every 10 or 10 games every 9, if it is 10 minutes on average.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think sometimes why they just fuck around too much. Fine.
They're trying to make it as fair as possible, but it's like, do you know what, especially for evening games, those evening games are going to end really late, and people are going to get home incredibly late. So they might need to bring kickoffs earlier. Oh, then fuck the players. Fuck the players.
It's not fair on the fans, but it's certainly not fair on teams with smaller squads who can't afford to have deep squads.
But the game's it's a 90-minute game. The game's a 90-minute game. It's never
been like that. It doesn't matter. You're adding minutes to it. You're moving the goalposts suddenly.
They're moving the goalpost. No, right. Sorry, that was a phrase.
So if you're Luton, right, and you're having to play additional minutes that your squad isn't equipped for, but you're Liverpool or Tottenham have massive squads that are equipped for it, who does this rule change favour? It favours.
I thought that was so revealing on the overlap where Gary Neville goes, who feels like they've been shortchanged by the refs? And who puts their hands up?
The four clubs that are at the it's nonsense. I didn't put my hand up, by the way.
Let's talk about things that can happen. And a couple of people saying Marco Silva would look like he has a twitch if he was to wink. Cooper can't wink, apparently.
Can't wink, no. I've never. That is still the greatest thing that's ever been said about anything to do with football, is that he looks like he's just escaped headlock. Steve Cooper, love it.
I've never heard that.
Dishevelled. You've never heard that?
No.
Oh my god! Yeah, look, let's picture of him. Let's just do this one more time.
Oh, I had something. We were going to talk about Jim Davidson, weren't we?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just find any picture of Steve Cooper, just quickly.
This feels harsh. Well, I've got one.
Mate.
I've got one behind me. I've got one behind me. Me and Steve. Actually, I'm not going to get
good.
I don't want to have a go at Steve. Poor Steve. Right, let's hang on. Here you go. Here's Steve. Although
it's not having a go at him.
Yeah, we did it with Steve Bruce, didn't we? Only Steve's. We can only have a look at the.
It looks like you've just escaped a headlock. Any picture.
He's a nice bloke. It'll be interesting if he lasts the season as well.
We have the smallest squad in the Premier League. No, it's fine. Cameron Fraser says, Flav, we have the smallest squad in the league.
Oh, here we go.
Liverpool have 22 squad players. Who does Cameron support?
I presume Liverpool. Spurs have
36.
For the patrons, what will be the excuse that your team inevitably uses? That was it. Here's one thing I predict is Liverpool will be, after a sort of bad run at some point, they will be accused of not having enough leaders because Henderson and Milner have gone.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Right, let's do this. So first of all, Jim Davidson. I was going to say, so Jim Davidson was trending. For those of you who don't know who Jim Davidson is, he was a comedian in the 90s, probably before that as well. And a couple of things I found funny. So he was trending. The reason he was trending is because Jim Davidson got a heady 15 likes on his tweet plugging his shows. Can this bus stop get more? He's got 2,000. But I then clicked on his tweet. Well, I found, first of all, so he's kind of like, he does sort of like naughty jokes. He's been on GB News, which is a bit right wing. Let's say
he's essentially a big. He's like the epitome of a gammon, right wing.
Yeah.
Fuck the immigrants. You know, UKIP. That's fundamentally what the bullshit he comes out with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks. That's my CPM done. The
Oh really?
I don't know. I'm joking. But what I loved is so these are his posters, which I imagine he gave sign off to. It's one thing I thought was funny.
That is.
So what? Happy with that? Oh wow! What's that? Is that real silver? Jim's gone. Yeah, sort of. Well, it's just that's like a clip. I think. How old is that picture, by the way? So that was one poster. Yeah, that's fine. Happy with this, Jim? Yeah, I really like this. Oh, it's a bit mysterious, isn't it? Because why has she got a finger on her lip? Yeah, that one's fine. Sign that off. That's better actually.
Yeah, that is better.
Red, white, and blue. And again, like just to say, more modern picture he seems to be using.
Terrible.
Quite. I think it's going to be a bit of a fright for people when they see him. But anyway, good luck to Jim on his tour. I'm sure he'll do well. But Jim Davidson wasn't that disliked, right? Jim Davidson was quite a loved person. He did the Generation Game, which was a very big show in the 90s. But
back
what
in
I
the
thought
day
was,
was
yeah, what I thought was interesting to bring it back to football was he's someone who kind of, once you knew a bit too much about him, then you sort of go off him. And I think that's often the case with football players, that you quite like them, and then they kind of understandably want to do punditry, which is fair enough. And then you kind of go, oh, I'm not really feeling you anymore. Right. And Paul Scholes is probably the one for me that springs to mind. Although actually, he's come back round, actually, because I think he was like a bit too serious, and now he's a bit more enjoyable. Roy Keane was a bit like that, and now everyone loves Roy now. Because he's
great.
He's great now, isn't he? But there are a lot of pundits that kind of do that as well. Anyway, right.
Anyone on TalkSport that kind of ex-pros, he's really good. He's starting, like, I'm really kind of like listening to him, even if he is a gooner. Is Darren Bent. Like his broadcasting skills have improved significantly since he's been doing Drive with Andy Goldstein. Oh, really good.
Okay.
Even when he has to host, he does good. So fair play.
Do you know what I think's great? Paul Robinson. I've said this a few times. He's really good. Like, for a Tottenham person, he's just a really good talker. Like, he's on 5 Live a lot. Right. Yeah. I asked, what happens every Premier League season? High-profile replies, including Kieran Carlin, my good old buddy, old pal. He's got a football channel, it's good fun. I think you'd like it, actually. He's funny, is our boy Kieran. He did a thing like 8 players I'd like to send to Saudi Arabia, and he did a tier list on people he thinks he could beat in a fight. I think he did as well.
Good.
So he's good. He said, so everyone thinks something's wrong with City around Christmas, beginning of the year, and then we win the final 15. Then everyone pretends it was in the bag from day one and a cakewalk. That's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will that occur again?
I mean, it probably will, because City are in this situation where they're having to. So a lot of people, I think, are looking at what's happened in the City, like this sort of exodus of players of note, and thinking, all right, this is sort of the beginning of this cycle, end of Pep's cycle, and that they will struggle this season. But he's gone on record saying you cannot maintain success with the same group of players. You have to continually recycle them. You have to, apart from very special players.
Yeah. And
that's all that's happening now. So I think if they start slowly, that might be the case. But teams like Arsenal or Liverpool, or whoever else who wants to challenge them, they need to start fast again. And if they don't, it could be done early, I think.
That is a slight fear when it comes to Liverpool as well, as I think their fixtures are quite tricky to start with. But yeah, purely for my prediction, I'm really hoping Liverpool will do well this year. But yeah, that does. I think the thing is with Man City is it's really hard to talk about them a lot of the time, because the jeopardy isn't there, because they're brilliant every single time. So that's why when they kind of draw a couple of games, you go, oh, hang on. But then
something to say.
Yeah. James Sparks says goals are scored, 1 week ban. That is rubbish.
Unnecessary, James.
No need. Sam Park, everybody overhypes Tottenham with either a managerial appointment or the transfer window they have, and they always underperform. Could Tottenham go down? Just open your mind for a second. Just open your mind for a second. All right, he's a bit too gung ho. Kane goes, although it looks like he's probably not now, right?
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Kane goes. Richarlison is rubbish or gets injured. Could you go down?
If we go down, it would be the best group of players that have ever gone down in the history of football. So that's how likely it is. That would mean we'd have to have a season as bad as Wolves or Luton or Sheffield United.
Yeah.
You look at our first team, bearing in mind we've just signed this new rapid centre-back, strapping young lad. Really lovely gait.
Lovely gait.
He's a lovely gait. He's our first 16 is fucking equality. Like, the only thing that might undo us is how gung-ho we're going to be. You know, if we finish 8th, people would say that's a bad season, but Arteta finished 8th in his first 2 seasons. This is a seismic shift in the way these players have to play football.
Let me ask you this question. What's going on? Lloris still there, is he?
Somehow, yeah.
So, right, here's this question. Are you, and you have to stand by this for the whole season, okay? So that's why I'm asking you now. Are you sure about Hugo Lloris as a quality player, like you're saying? Are you sure? So
I'm sure that he has to be removed from the football club.
Okay. Reguilon, are you sure?
Sold. Needs to be sold.
Skip, are you sure?
Yeah.
Højbjerg, are you sure?
He's going to be sold to Atletico Madrid.
What,
sure about what? That if as a starter?
Are you sure they're class?
Look. This is our team, and
you said 16, so I want 16 players that you're sure are class.
Okay, so the goalkeeper Vicario, I don't know anything about him.
So you're not sure.
Udogie, left back, is going to be class. Right back, Emerson Royal, absolutely fine. Probably the best defender we have. Romero and Van der Ven. That's our back line. Midfield, listen to this. Basuma, Bentancur, Maddison, and Ola Celso. That's a fucking great midfield.
Do you know what's amazing though? That's why the manager matters, right? Because you could have said the exact same sentence in a different tone last year, and you would have gone, "This midfield's crap."
Yeah, but we were saying, in terms of Conte, we were saying, how are we playing so badly with this group of players? How can he not get these group of players playing? Within a week, we're playing completely different football under Postecoglou, and the front line of Kane, Son, Kulusevski. Whoever, there are a number of forwards that can play up there that we've got that would result in goals. Richarlison as well.
Right. So this is what I think. Anything can happen with Tottenham. Could you win? Could you win the league? Could you win the league? There's no way. There's absolutely no way you can win the league.
No, there's no chance we can win the league. But we could. If we could. The thing is, I don't really know because I actually haven't seen Postecoglou's football in the Premier League, so fuck knows what's going to happen. But I am excited, and it's not just me that's excited to see Postecoglou play well. It's people that have tracked him throughout his entire career, and he's highly rated. I don't think we're going to be playing football that's that different to what Manchester City and Arsenal play.
In terms of quality, right? Okay, so in
terms of system.
Answer this: What's the highest you could finish this year? Dreaming big. Fourth is the highest.
Fourth or third, yeah, is like would be an amazing season. And like you say, there's always one team that surprises.
Right, and if it all goes tits up, and within those tits, Postecoglou probably then loses his job because madness happens, as we know. What's the lowest you could finish?
For him to lose his job, it would have to be 14th, 15th. Okay. I think. Well, from my perspective, football's crazy, and who knows. But for me, I would say finish 14th, and you might go, all right, this isn't going to work in the Premier League over a season. But we've been warned by people that have watched Postecoglou before and saying that it takes time. This isn't something that's just going to be fixed immediately. His system is very aggressive. It's very front forward, foot on the front. On the front foot. Yeah. On the front foot. Yeah. No and we will get exposed at the back at times. And it's something we just have to accept. And he said look, the first season we'll do okay. And how well we've done will depend on how happy the fans are. And the second season is where I get my success. This is what he said. So we have to be patient with him.
Can I show you this? Breaking news 1 minute ago. David Ornstein. Thank you to our patrons, whoever that was, who let me know. Tom, well done. Exclusive. Bayern Munich have reached an agreement with Tottenham to sign Harry Kane. Sources in Germany indicate proposal worth about 100 million accepted by Tottenham Hotspur. 30-year-old has been leaning towards staying, but must now make a decision.
Yeah.
We go to Flav. Flav reacts live now.
Well, I mean, I guess this is always going to be the case if they paid the money. It's up to him. If he wants to go, then go. If he wants to stay, brilliant, stay with us. This is a conversation we've been having for a year. It's like, who cares?
Amazing.
So bored of it.
Amazing. Just go or don't.
what I've heard is that he is really not happy with the way Bayern Munich have handled this, and that he would rather turn it down and stay at Spurs for the remainder of the year. But
right,
in terms of for Spurs, I mean, if you're him, why the fuck would you end up going to Bayern Munich? Like, it's mental to me that he'd want to go and play in Germany. He's basically giving up he has all of the cards and he can play whatever hand he wants to if he stays.
Yeah.
But if he leaves now, it's probably the best thing for Spurs because he's out of the league and out of mind, and he goes to play in a league that no one gives a shit about here. If he stays, then we're in a much more awkward situation next summer because we might have to watch him play for Man United in the Premier League, which would be much more painful. So if you remove that and have the 100 million now, you're probably the best thing for us. The other thing is that if you have him in the team, and people say, well, you can't let him go for free, but if you have him in the team, you have a much better chance of qualifying for the top four. It's a risk. And the money generated from that, but, it's just fucking... I don't care.
We're not, not long now.
Don't care.
Not long now. Not long now. The thing is, if he goes to Bayern Munich, you do feel like he's just he's kind of risking it all for a Champions League. Like, we were chatting about this when we went out for Saturday night, was that, like, if he wins the league, it will feel as powerful, I think, to him as a League Cup for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Tottenham to win the trophy and not having won trophies, like anything, like, when you're really thirsty for something, like it tastes so much better once you get that glass of water. Whereas, like, Bayern Munich win the league, that's what they do. So he goes there, he wins the league, he kind of ticks a box. Whereas the Champions League is like, that doesn't happen very often. So he's kind of, if he goes there, he's going there for a Champions League, isn't he?
So they couldn't win the Champions League with Lewandowski, but they will with Harry Kane. It's a massive gamble.
They did win it with Lewandowski.
What, the Champions League?
Yeah.
Bayern Munich?
Not last year, not 2 years ago, but the year before that. It was during COVID. It was that COVID season, wasn't it? They beat PSG.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
My point stands.
Okay.
Well, maybe I don't know. For me, you'd think that staying in breaking the. If you're Kane, you stay out and join a club in the Premier League that has a much better chance of winning it.
One more year. And then he's like, oh yeah, but Postecoglou winks at me every morning. It's fucking great. Like,
it's much better for us if he leaves the league for sure. But if I'm putting my head in, if I'm trying to think like Harry Kane does, you stay and just have the world is your oyster. You go to Real Madrid in a year's time. They've got a big, Harry Kane shaped hole at the top of their attack.
And surely he's spoken to all those other clubs as well, right? Like, you know, I find it funny where people are thinking he's just sitting at home waiting for the phone call because, I don't want to, I don't want to have these having conversations with everyone all the time. Other things that will inevitably happen this season. This is actually a good way of getting rid of people from the podcast this year. Because I just saw this. Chili Cooks. Anthony Taylor favours Chelsea's opposition. Ban. This sort of referee conspiracy. No. Stop it. Arsenal will suffer exactly 4 first-team injuries between January and March. There's another excuse. People have utilised this tweet to basically allow them to get their excuses in. Crystal Palace look half decent, then end up near a relegation battle. That does happen pretty much every year.
Yeah.
Will Hodgson survive? Actually, one of the funny replies was something that happens every year. Someone just wrote Roy Hodgson.
He is inevitable.
He is inevitable. He will never die. He will die probably sooner than. Forget it. The Jurgen Klopp complains about having too many games to play. Says Dean Mulder.
Yeah.
Man United.
He's going to go mental with these additional minutes, isn't he?
Yeah, he will. Who will be the first to have a meltdown in a post-match interview?
Yeah, it'll be
Kloppy.
It'll be Klopp, Arteta, or Pep Guardiola for sure.
One of the top boys. And who will have the out of the Sky boys? Who will have an argument first? Because normally there's like
What do you mean?
Well, the
Pundits.
Yeah, the sort of gravest episodes, let's say, of Super Sunday is when Man United lose. And that's when they're all like, oh, it's like a funeral. Like, this is really serious because you got Roy and you got Gary. And this is Man United. But that might not occur this year because Man United look pretty like they've kind of figured it out a little bit. Well, or they've spent
70 million. Spent £70 million on Hoyland. Is his name Hoyland?
Hoyland, yeah. Hoyland. Someone said to me, "Don't need the D." Apparently.
That seems like an astronomical amount of money.
72 million. Young though, isn't he? And there's not that many strikers really out there. I think it'll be fine. I don't think people will worry about it. What do you think about Maguire going? Maguire, right?
I think it'd be a really good signing for West Ham.
I find it's hilarious that everyone's like been so, and I'm not saying you, but people have been so desperate to literally hang this guy as a Man United player. But now he's in a West Ham shirt. Everyone's like, good signing, good player, steady player. It's what's fucking disrespectful wankers. All of it.
But it's what's asked of him, isn't it? It's like if you ask him to play a high line, he cannot do that because he's so slow. But if you ask him to defend, there's a few better than him.
But you know when people are going, he's not starting for Man United. But so if he's at West Ham, is he allowed to be in the England team now? So it's like say because if he then plays, but if you then ask the question, is he good enough to play for Man United? People would then go no again. But then he's good enough for England. But I'm just saying that the sort of the vicious nature of discussion over Harry Maguire the last 2 years will, I know this is just the way the world works, but it will completely go away. And everyone will go, oh, good player. And it's bollocks. Just people weren't fair initially. That's what I'm saying. Rant done.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think, but I think with West Ham, certainly in Moyes' system, he'll shine. It's set up for him. And often players need that. They need the right environment and the right tactics around them in order to...
One thing I would say, they've
get the best out of them.
They've got good centre-backs, West Ham. This is why I put West Ham doing okay. Their centre-backs are really good. And I think they'll be much better defensively this year. But they need some midfielders ASAP.
If they lose Paqueta, then that's a massive issue, isn't it?
Mate, their midfield is so light without if Paqueta goes. It's crazy. Man United fans... Hang on. New rules come in at the start of the season, then halfway through, they're forgotten and refs turn back time. Interesting. Don't think that'll happen to be honest.
I think that they will start severely harsh in terms of like how many minutes they add, and then you'll start to sort of trickle back down. That's what I hope, anyway. I don't want another 10 minutes of football in the end. It's fucking stressful enough as it is.
The time where I'll be annoyed about it is when it's a game that starts at 8 and that I'm at and I want to get home.
Yeah,
loads of people will have, that idea of like, you can't leave early. People will have to leave early. Like, they literally will have to. Otherwise, they won't get the train home. Like, simple as that. Well, I think also, do you know what will be lost with this sort of 10, 12 minutes? Whereas before you were like, the sort of, you would go 5, like depending if you were winning or losing the game, you go 5 minutes or like 3 minutes, whatever it would be. It's now going to be
16 minutes.
Yeah, shit. Where's he got 16 from? You can't say that phrase anymore. Where's he got 16 from? Well, actually, he's got it from the ball was out over there. And the ball was out over there.
I think someone made a good point. I think it was on the overlap where they said that you should be able to see the ref's watch, essentially the counter should be synced up to the screen, and essentially you can see as when it goes out for a throw or when there's a goal, the time stops and you can watch it. You can see what's added, and then there's no issue. But
that's true. What was I going to say? Oh, that's gone. Well, another person saying Arsenal always get a major injury around New Year. We'll revisit that in the New Year. I apologise, and maybe that is a thing. Arsenal bottling something. Will they bottle it this year, Flav? Will it be a three-peat?
They'll have to. I mean, they'll have to replicate somewhat what they did last season to be in a position where they can. I mean, they must be able to learn from their mistakes eventually. So no, you'd think that in terms of who's most likely to challenge City, it would probably be Arsenal, but it's a big ask. You know, they've gone about they're a proper fucking, you know, they operate like a proper football club, an ambitious football club, and you know the fact that they're Arsenal makes me feel sick. The fact that they're doing what they're doing, but I fucking just have to deal with it, I guess.
In terms of expectations,
it's never going to last.
Yeah, true. In terms of expectations for Arsenal, with the squad they got there, young squad too, still. If they don't win the league in this cycle, let's give them 4 years, is that a massive failure? Is a huge failure, Flav.
What's that? Sorry?
He wasn't listening.
Sorry.
With that Arsenal squad's really good, right? But I think
it's incredible.
Because I've seen this thing on Twitter about how much they've spent, right? And they've not. And they won the Community Shield.
£600 million in 5 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might know that. And so with that squad that they've built now, if they don't, and where they've got to now, if they don't win the league in the next 4 years, is it I'm going to go with the word disaster. Do they have to win the league in the next 4 years?
Look, they don't have to win the league because they've got to understand what they are, and it isn't they're not consistently going to be able to challenge for the Premier League unless they intend to completely flout FFP and continue to spend wildly. So if they've spent what they have and built a good squad that's capable of challenging for league titles, but will they get over that line? It's unlikely, right? So, especially with Manchester United City around. So fundamentally, it comes down to how positive do the fans feel about their club, and that's how they should. That's the barometer of what success is for them. If they don't win the league, it's a disaster if their fans feel like it's a disaster.
I think they will definitely win the league in the next 3 years. That's how I feel.
That would suggest that this team and manager will be able to continue for the next 3 years. That'll be 7, nearly 8 years he'd been at the club. It's almost unheard of.
Yeah, but the best teams do, like, that does occur, doesn't it? Klopp's been there ages, Pep's been there ages. I think Arteta will be there.
Yeah, I think the problem, my feeling is that Arsenal fans, the enjoy. What I said last year is like, this is the moment you've got to enjoy it because it's all upwards from this at this point. But when it begins to plateau and the expectation starts to rise and the place becomes a little bit more tense, and we know Arsenal more than most have a history of turning their own stadium into a bit of a poisonous cesspit. If that comes to the fore and people become more expectant, like this season, they're expecting some maybe not, but they're expecting to win the league, or at least deep down they've signed Rice, Timber.
I was impressed with them in the Community Shield. Right, last few things. Man United will win 3 games and then
friendly. James, it's a friendly. Doesn't mean anything.
Man United will win 3 games and then everyone think they're in a title race. Man United will lose 3 games and start getting Norwich scarves out. People will talk about this. True. Good stuff. This is good from John. People talk about who is top at Christmas like it actually means something. Funny, isn't it, that? We do, don't we? And down the bottom. No one's ever been... Only 2 teams have been bottom at Christmas and stayed up. That's always one that comes out. Speaking of Christmas, Sport Bible will post the 1963 Boxing Day fixtures and results. That will definitely happen this season. Yeah, there's Roy Hodgson. Spurs will have a slump, but still spank City. I presume you mean Manchester City. A manager will get the sack in October.
No, that's true. We will not. That's the opposite. We'll probably beat teams we should be beating, but absolutely gets panned by City. That's what's going to happen.
That is a good shout.
Yeah,
that is a good shout. I'm excited about Tottenham. I'm excited to see what is going to happen here.
If there's a time to sell Kane, then it's probably now, because of the way Postecoglou sets up and how attacking we are. We'll score goals even without him. The question mark is always going to be around the defence. So whether Kane stays or goes really isn't. It's not as relevant as how well we are sorted defensively.
Fucking
hell. So true.
So true. I'm not going to show people that, but Sorry, there's a tweet. So go to my Twitter. Scroll down. There'll be a tweet that you'll see that we're not going to talk about, that you can laugh at if you'd like to laugh at, but it's not really a funny thing. And that's your lot.
Good.
Crystal Palace finished 12th to 14th. Correct.
Yeah, 10, without doubt. Just
10
put
or 11,
them there
11,
now.
That's true. CPFC Cal. Hello, mate. Crystal Palace finished 11th to 14th. Guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. Yeah. Right. We're back. It will be more random and more funny, I'm sure, in time. But me and Flav like to talk about football sometimes. So get on with it is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Anything you want to say, Flav?
No, it's good to be back. Looking forward to the new season, and can't wait to watch Spurs play attacking football once again. This is for the first time I've been more excited this season than I have been in years.
I think you were more excited last season.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
I probably was, but because I think the hindsight, it was such a miserable season. I was like thinking, well, it can't be as bad as last year. At least we're going to play some attacking football.
I think you've discovered what you need as a football fan. It needs to. I was chatting to Spooky about this. It needs to feel good, and I think it will feel good. Exciting times. Right, guys. Enjoy the hope that you have before the initial kickoff, because speaking from experience, it doesn't last long. Sometimes not even over 40 seconds. Great to be back. Happy days. Right, we'll see you next time. If you want to join us on Patreon, links in the description. Go get involved in the narrative. I need you to. That'll start next week. Love you all. Love Flav as well. And goodbye. End.
Bye-bye.
Go.